Hi, everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new live stream, and welcome to my Moscow kitchen. I've just put the counter on for the channel, so it tells you how many subscribers are on the channel. I hope that's okay. I can actually switch. I think I can. Oh, let me just press it a few different ways. I can put myself off there, and then I can put it back on. So yeah, welcome everybody. This is a little bit, well, on the fly here because about 10 minutes ago, I had a bit of a phone and video call with my dad. So my property back in Australia, it's been rented, and apparently one of the lights in the kitchen's flickering. And I got an email from the real estate, like, what do you call these, like property managers who look after it, saying that they've called an electrician about this light bulb that's flickering. So I was sending a WhatsApp message to the lady that lives there, who's super nice. My dad has gone over and fixed something like a washer in the toilet before. And she's like, oh, I told the real estate agent a couple of months ago about it, and it's not a problem. And she's got no worries, no stress, no problems. And it was like the last 15 minutes, like I was messaging her, messaging my dad. Typically when I chat to my dad, I do it on Facebook. And we do like video calling. So literally how I'm set up now, I just do a Facebook call with him. The problem here is it doesn't work without using a VPN. And as I was preparing for the live stream, I told him I'm going to be live at 9 o'clock. Sorry, at 5 o'clock, which is my time here. Sorry, everybody. I'm just going to get a bit of a rant out the way, and then we'll move on. So, and then he's calling me back right as I was pressing go live, and I told him that I'll be going live at 5 o'clock. So, luckily, the lady just messaged me back. I did a voice call, voice message on WhatsApp where you record a voice. And she's like, yeah, it's no worries. Next week, somebody can swing by during the week and replace the light bulb. So it's one of those down lights, or those recessed spotlights that you've got. So yeah, it seems like the real estate agent's panicking more than the person that lives there. And I just saw it in an email that I got today. So yeah, right, everybody, thank you for coming to watch a live stream. I will actually just put this back up like that. I was hoping that today, roughly tonight, that we might go over the 20,000 live on the live stream. But I didn't put a new video today, which obviously hasn't spiked the views up. So if that makes sense, views generally attract subscribers, especially if you might come across the video and subscribe as you're watching it or afterwards. So yeah, we've got a few people live already here. It might get more, might be less. I'm not sure. We've got 9 likes already. Thank you very much. So yeah, hopefully today I did ask some moderators to be here, but so far nobody. So hopefully we have some nice friendly chat. I've kind of got 2 different screens here. So yeah, we'll kind of just look off the distance. I'm pretty sure this is not going to get to 20,000. Basically, based on the last 3 or 4 days of the channel, because there's been lots of views, and maybe a couple of videos were shared somewhere. It basically spiked the views, if that makes sense, and spiked the amount of subscribers. So, yeah. Yeah, so Dark Flow is here. Hello. Not officer. This is FSB. We're monitoring your channel. That's a bit of a worry. Actually, I just got a message from somebody else that said, don't worry about what you're doing and how you say it on YouTube, if that makes sense. I was just talking about, just kind of talking about what I was doing on my live streams like this, where we're just chatting, literally just chatting. My Pixelated Life, how's it going? We just chatted before, kind of. So hello, everyone. If the chat gets too fast, maybe just with a few of us here. I need to do something more controversial topic-wise for more people to be in the live stream and watching. So, hi, Russell. You started broadcasting on Nova Burst time, but you live in Moscow. Weird. It's 5:10 p.m. here, so I don't think I messed anything up. I'm not too sure. I did kind of do a few hours earlier the schedule of the live stream. So I'm not too sure. Jan S, hello. How's it going? No, it's not scrolling down for me now. Dark Flow. Oh, now it's going quicker than I can keep up already. Like just a few people chatting at the same time. Larry, hi. Hello from Texas. Yes. Galveston, Texas. I keep mentioning Walmart in Galveston when I reply to a lot of the comments because a lot of people mention Walmart as part of some of the comments about the shops and the supermarket videos. So I keep mentioning that as a reference. Russian superstitions are hilarious. Yes, my wife has a few here and there. Most of the word about the superstition is about this 666 and the thumbnail. I hope the devil guy is not too, scary. On there, I just sort of Googled one and got the free one that I could use. Probably should have put a bit more thought into it, but I was also told I should not use the same thumbnail every time for live streams. So, yeah, hello from Texas. Do you have a Russian passport or do you only have a residency permit? Yes, I have a residency permit. I don't have a Russian passport. I guess the next stage of the visa, I can get what would be considered permanent residency. Then the next stage after that would be a Russian passport. I can choose not to get one, or I can get one. I think having too many passports is just a bit too much. But I have friends here who are expatriates from England. They have Russian passports, Russian residency. Yeah, I mean, I guess to a certain point, having one helps getting in and out of Russia and maybe some of the CIS countries. But ultimately, the Australian passport is probably just as helpful to have versus a Russian one. But that's just my opinion. So even those who are not superstitious, just in case, knock on wood or spit over their left shoulder. Oh, I've never heard of doing that. Knocking on wood or finding something to. Oh, it's hard to see from here now. Yeah, so pretty sure this counter won't go up, so I might just go back to me. Yeah. Why did you choose to move to Russia? My wife is Russian. She's from Ufa, Bashkortostan. We met in Thailand quite a lot of years ago, more than 10 years ago now. And I came here the first time 9 years ago. We got married. I keep getting this mistaken. It's either 4 years or 5 years ago. I really should know that. So yeah, that's why, basically. My wife does have residency for Australia. My microphone's in the way a little bit. I'm sorry if it's... Just maybe move it out of the way a little bit. Yeah, my wife does have residency for Australia. She could ultimately get an Australian passport down the track as well. She actually just got her passport renewed for Russia. I don't know, I feel like months ago now, 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. I kind of suggested that she could get it renewed. This is actually before they changed from the 10-year passports to the 5-year passports. They just changed the rule here that they're currently only issuing 5-year passports rather than 10-year ones. So she got in before that. It's fairly simple to do the passport renewal here, but it's just a hassle, the fact that where we are registered as residents in Moscow region or Moscow Oblast, it's in the other side of Moscow. So it's got to go over there and back every time. So what Russian words do I know? Da, привет, как дела, хорошо, Kurichka, Sloan, Biggie Mott, all sort of silly words. Zabravka nasprava, пожалуйста, which is when I get the bus home, the bus driver, the marshrutka driver, there isn't a bus stop where we get off the bus, where we live coming down Kievsky Shusay, Kiev Highway. So he pulls over at the petrol station. So, but pretty much every time the bus goes to my town, it stops there anyway. But it's just polite to tell him, to remind him to drop us off. So, do you have Funky Monkey Cola? I wonder if you can spot it in the video. Now, somebody mentioned to me that it's actually interesting what I've got on the counter behind me always in the videos. Now, this actually spot right here is pretty much where my wife puts everything. It's kind of like a mini breakfast bar, but we don't use it like that. It's just where we put things. So I kind of intentionally took out those couple of colas and put them there to see if anyone notices them, and you straight away did. So Christina, hello. Cool. Yeah, it's not so cool here, by the way. Well, it's actually been warmer today, even though I didn't go out. It's 9.5 degrees out on the balcony, or outside the window of the apartment here, and then 26 inside, which is pretty much normal. That's with central heating in the kitchen here. I've actually got the kitchen door open, so the air is probably flowing into the hallway a little bit. So my sister is doing MBBS, Pilgan Boryuan. I'm from India. I imagine that's some kind of like Masters of Business, Bachelors of Science, maybe something like that. Just making up what them letters mean. How many years have I lived in Moscow? Oh, in Russia? 9, well, pretty much 9 years, I guess, from the first time that I first arrived. We were back in Australia for about a year, pretty much during the COVID lockdown, if you want to call it that. When basically Perth, where we live, or where I'm from, essentially the country was locked down, but Perth wasn't. So you could actually freely, actively live in WA or Perth, apart from wanting to go on a ship or an aeroplane or cross the border, which you couldn't. Everything was free reign inside the city, if that makes sense. You know, we didn't have mask rules. We didn't have any lockdown rules because there was no COVID. Once all the rules lifted, COVID came. So, and that was basically when we came back to Moscow. So Russians do not even gift even numbers of flowers. It's only for the deceased. I didn't know that. I bought my wife's flowers for her birthday, and I didn't even know that that was a thing. Maybe the florist does, and they just don't even mention it. So if you type anything in Russian, by the way, I can't read it, so I'm sorry. Also, I was just thinking if... why can't I hide the poll? That's a bit silly. We'll leave it up there for now. Yeah, I think... Robert, hello, Robert Jarman. Sometimes certain words get held. I'm English, but hey, my fellow Englishmen, expecting citizenship in November. Will never... I can do a show on that one because it's not saying anything bad. So... So yeah, sorry. On the other screen, on the StreamYard, which I use, it allows me to put the comments on the screen. If I go to the YouTube studio, I can read it off to the side here on the other screen, but it blocks certain comments. And if there was a moderator here, they could literally block every comment if they like, but pretty sure we're not really like that. Oh yeah, 26 degrees is inside the house, by the way. It's 9.5. This is Celsius. 9.5. It's pretty much, this is probably the warmest day it's been for about 4 days. When I went and filmed at the warehouse supermarket underground building, it was like maybe 3 degrees, 4 degrees. It was actually cold. And I didn't really notice that when I was leaving. If you might notice at the very beginning of the shot, I'd kind of walked in there just to go check it out to make sure it was okay. And I took my jacket and my bag off and left it with the security guard there. And then I came back outside to film, did everything, and then put the jacket on to leave. And I was like, suddenly walked outside and I was shivering almost. It's yeah, 26 degrees is inside in the kitchen here. That's the kind of the, I guess, ambient Celsius temperature. It gets usually about another degree hotter, depending on how long I have we open the window every now and again just to let some hot air in and out or cold air in and out. So, you have the best videos. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say that. Hey guys, chat away as you wish. And if it gets too fast, I'll, not put stuff up. If it's, I'll skip over. If not, Kazan State Medical University. There we go. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I'd love to live in Russia. You guys are probably freer than we are in Canada. But you've got Justin Trudeau, the good-looking guy, as your prime minister. Everyone seems to love him for the fact that he looks good-looking. I don't know how he is as a prime minister, but how do I feel about Mr. P? I don't really give any opinions politically. I guess here I'm talking about Trudeau, but because it creates bias on the channel, and it creates people that are one-sided or the other. People then start questioning back what I've said when I mention something. So yeah, look, he's a guy that's in charge of the political system here. In Australia, we have the same thing where we've got politicians that we like and we love, and we don't like, but it's what it is. I'm going to just be like that. So I'm sorry if you don't get an answer about how do I feel about it. Obviously, what's happening isn't good, so yeah, I have to, I am in the country as well. This is important, you know what I mean? This is always a thing, like when a lot of Australians travel, like when they go to Bali or Thailand or Cambodia, and then something happens to them and they get maybe arrested or held or put in jail or something like that, and a lot of people don't have sympathy for them because they've done a crime in that country. And then it's expected that Australian government or the embassy or the consulate will help them get released. But if they've done a crime, as they say, right, do the crime, do the time. And it's always expected that the Australian government will come running to help everybody. They'll give assistance. They'll help where they can. I mean, of course, there's an Australian embassy in Moscow here, which deals with quite a lot of countries, more than just Russia. So I just hope that, everything comes okay. Remy from Switzerland. Nice to meet you again. I have a question. Do you have a Russian driver's license? No, I don't. They are kind of easy and hard to get here. You have to kind of go through a driving test and kind of exam sort of thing. A lot of people tend to pay to get their driver's license, maybe more than what the actual fee is, if that can make sense to you guys listening. I don't have a car here, so I have an international driver's license, which would be valid here as let's call it a temporary driver's license, like a permit. I don't own a car here. When we do go driving here, we rent cars, what I call like car sharing cars. So we have apps on our phone which tells you where the car is. You can rent it by the minute. You grab the car wherever it's parked, and then you can park it anywhere within sort of parking zones. But I just carry my international license when I do that. We don't use it very often. Typically, I'll just use it in the town where I live to go down to the shops and back. Quite lazy of me. Like when it's colder like this, I'll do that. A few times we've sort of driven, actually when IKEA was open earlier last year, we drive all the way out to the shopping center to go to IKEA and back, just because it's easier to carry things home, So how is Kazan now? I'm not sure. I'm in Moscow. Now, someone corrected me as well, as if there's maybe any Russians watching, that I've got to say Moscow Oblast, not Moscow region. I just say Moscow region because it's more the English word to say. Moscow Oblast is kind of the word that you would say in Russia here, inside Russia, if that makes sense. Do Russians do anything for Halloween? I've got a friend who Real Moscow Projects. She's often in the chat here, who is having a little party tonight. She sent photographs of her like dress up, and I would imagine she's got some friends coming around to her place. I'm not too sure about the kids. I know one of my neighbors did ask me about it, but I'm not too sure if it's really a big thing here. I don't think it is, but would you say your purchasing power is better in Russia or Australia? How is your life better for your family? Mind the weather. Mind the weather. Yeah, look, I actually kind of like the there's a true 4 seasons here. So there is kind of, winter, spring, autumn, summer, or however you want to say it in a circle. So I like the fact that we've got true weather systems. At the moment, it's kind of in between, where it's kind of 3 days ago, I was out walking. It was beautiful, blue skies day. It was kind of cold, but blue skies. And now today it's been sort of wet with a little bit of rain today. Purchasing power, obviously that's difficult to kind of say because I just base it on my lifestyle here. I don't really go to shopping. Okay, you see me filming shopping centers and supermarkets, but I don't really go shopping in shopping centers every day. I mostly go walking in them. Having a retail background, I kind of find it just interesting and fascinating to visit different places and see how they're doing and what they're doing. And I'll definitely say, things like where I did the video at the El Dorado, one of the electronics stores here, like home goods stores, the price have gone up. You know what I mean? There is still cheaper products that you can buy. You know what I mean? Like a television. I was kind of comparing when I was there with Atom, that the TV that I bought in Australia was about $1,000. I think it was $1,000 and something at the time, and the TV here is about $1,000. So really, they're the same price. The thing that everybody, literally, I'm going to say, you maybe who is watching, or a lot of the comments and a lot of the videos, continually question the maybe the cost of living here, or what the average salary is. And this is very hard to kind of put an average, because they always say the average salary of Russia, not maybe the people that live in Moscow or St. Petersburg or Sochi, maybe a little bit different from people outside of Moscow or the biggest cities. Then I guess you can count everybody that's on a pension or who has limited income from a job. So I would say, if I look at things like electricity bills, phone bills, water, what we pay in rent, general food costs are considerably less here than they are in Australia. If you put it on par with Australia, you need to earn more to spend. I mean, the cost of living in Australia is going up. They're predicting like 7, 8, 9% inflation this year by the end of the year. The the mortgage rate's gone up 3 times in the last 3 months, I believe. I think they've got another one on Monday or Tuesday, another meeting by the Federal Reserve in Australia. So, if you've got a reasonably well-paid job in Australia, you can afford to live, but you're not living the best life, if that makes sense, because the bills aren't cheaper. I think have I made that sort of sound fair enough? I don't know. I mean, if that's in a roundabout way. Yeah, I guess overall here, it's cheaper to live here if you have a decent salary. You know what I mean? The cost of food at the supermarket is considerably cheaper. I mean, if I just compare my life and my wife and I's, what we buy, what we shop for, what we spend, we're better off here. If I compare, the bills that we pay for our phones, I'm paying a quarter of the price here than what I was paying my phone bill in Australia. So, how do I buy groceries? So, Mr. Russian, I hope that answers your question. It's a very difficult answer. It's kind of an entire topic, if that makes sense. How do you buy grocery if you don't know Russian well? And most Russians don't know English at all. I just recognize the packaging. I go to the same shops. So you kind of saw in the videos there. Downstairs from our building, we've got Fasol, which is a little tiny kind of supermarket. Across the way, Magnit, and then actually, we've got 3 Pitorichkas within about 10 minutes of here, which you saw the video. If anyone's watched the previous videos, you'll understand. We have also Lenta, which is ribbon, which is at the shopping center where I did that electronics store. There's downstairs, they call it Super Lenta, but it's not very big. But so yeah, I kind of know and recognize the products, what we generally buy all the time. I am learning things like pork is svaina. So if I want to buy pork, adin pul kilo, I think it's adin pul kilo or pul kilo. I can't remember how you say 1 kilo of pork. Kurichka chicken. Grible is mushrooms. So if I have to ask for things, particularly if I go to the Rynek or the food market, which is kind of like the little Russian Soviet style market. That's pretty much where my wife prefers to shop rather than the supermarkets. Yeah, so I make do. So Yes, yes, and 3 times to knock on the tree. So in fact, if it's from the old believers, they ask the tree for protection. Oh, yeah. So the whole thing with the $60.66. So if this, so basically, I'm trying to reach a certain amount of views on the channel. Subscribers obviously is nice that you guys are subscribers, and there's more subscribers, more viewers every time the videos go on the channel. But I had a goal. Well, it'd be 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I had a goal. I mean, I've not been a long time on YouTube, and it was to reach a certain amount of views, which would then equal, channel monetization after you get so many subscribers and watch time in hours. And subsequently, then you get ad revenue from people watching videos. So where you guys watch videos and you see ads on them, YouTube plays them randomly. Sometimes you don't see them, sometimes you do. I don't have control over that part. It then gives you ad revenue, which then pays back to you. And this month will be the best month in 4 years of me doing YouTube, both on this channel and my other channel that I'm not really doing anymore. But for it to be the best month ever, between technically this morning, because the timing of when it tells you the statistics is 2 days delayed. So you get your statistics 2 days later than when they're posting. It shows you live how many people are there, but the correction of it's 2 days later. So if the channel does $60.66 for the next, I think is it 5 calendar days? I forgot, it was 6 now. So Tuesday, where are we here? So yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 calendar days, because Tuesday's already been noted, if that makes sense. So 26, 7, 8, 9, 30, and 31. So it's 6 calendar days. If the channel does $60.66 per day, it's very weird how it rounded off this way. I didn't even try to do that. It will hit its historical highs, if that makes sense. I mean, obviously, some of the videos recently did lots of views. So I guess if people keep watching, or you guys keep watching new videos, I need to make videos for you to watch more videos, right? It's kind of like a double-edged sword. Previously they were all believers. Everything has changed for a long time, but sometimes from the depths of centuries have remained. Yeah. I remember when I got married with my wife, I was looking up all of the, not really superstitions, I guess superstitions, but maybe traditions of what happens during the, maybe the wedding ceremony, but the things leading up to the wedding, and how your friends come to the apartment and they kind of steal things from the apartment, or maybe of your apartment if you're living together already, or your partner's apartment, and then you have to pay like a money to them to get back the things. And it's like maybe knives and forks or plates or something just kind of silly. It's like a ransom that they're holding it to ransom against the husband of the wife, if that makes sense. There's really, if anyone wants to Google it, like the wedding traditions, there's maybe 8 or 10 different ones. At the wedding, we released doves, and you've got to watch when the doves fly. So if they fly off together, so there's generally 2 doves, it means that the relationship will stay longer. But if the doves fly in different directions, you've got to worry a little bit that they, didn't stay together when they left the box that they released from. What Russian dishes have I tried? My wife, can you see? Oh, this is hard to see now. So over here, my wife bought a new pan, or I don't know. It's not a pan. It's not got a handle. It's got little handles on the side. And she made plof this morning. She bought the pan specially. We have another pan, but this is nicer pan. She made plof, which is basically rice with meat and veg and onions, carrots. Yeah, I like any kind of soups. We actually yesterday we had barbecue chicken for dinner, like a roast chicken, which is not really Russian, but I went on the way home. Oh, was it? Yes. Oh, yesterday, right? So no. When did I go and film this video? I put the video yesterday. Oh, it was the day before I went. Yeah. Am I right? I'm getting confused with the days now. What did I do yesterday? I don't know now. Yeah, we had barbecue chicken. It's got a whole chicken. Yeah, my wife does. She does a lot more Western food now than she does Russian food, because she knows I don't like all of the different spices and bay leaves and cloves that she puts into it. Lots of salts and spices in some of the dishes. So she does a lot more normal, let's say the word boring foods that I enjoy, like meat and potatoes and veg and things like that, rather than her doing like really Russian style dishes. I like all the different salads. So like winter salad, which is basically like potato salad. Olivia salad, I think is the right word to say. It's cool. It's good that you don't politicize your channel. MLC, yes, that's really the point of it. I mean, it's probably boring for some people. It's not controversial enough. I'm not outspoken enough. But yeah, actually, I read a comment on one of the videos. I've not replied. It says, "Why am I watching a supermarket video? I don't really like supermarkets. I'm wondering why I'm sitting here walking around a supermarket." And I'm like, well, I don't know. There's a niche for everything on YouTube, right? And I'm sure you guys will agree that we all watch completely different things on YouTube to what maybe our normal day to day is, because it kind of lets us escape a little bit from our normal day to day. Does that make sense? I'm hoping everyone's agreeing with me. Maybe you're not, but I just always think behind the camera or over here. Sorry if I can just point to it. That you guys are all like, oh yeah, okay, oh no, fair enough. Like I watch a guy that started his own aquarium shop and sells fish. It's an Australian guy who does that, and I think it's really cool. I watch a guy that does bricklaying. I watch a guy that sells Lego. I watch a guy that repairs cars, and all the things that I don't do ever, but I just like it as a bit of an escape. And I look forward to watching their next video to see what is the next thing they're doing. And I think maybe that's the same with some of the videos that I'm doing. People are kind of curious where I'll be next or what I'm doing next. I hope. I'll leave it to the humans. They'll mess it all up. Yeah. Applaud you for sticking to your guns. We have politics everywhere. I like your channel because I can escape. I didn't even read that before I even just said it. I can escape and experience daily life elsewhere. Sorry, I honestly didn't read that first. That's how I'm kind of ham. So, yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's very true. Right. I wouldn't return to the UK for 100 million rubles. I'm 63 and want. Okay. Just not too soon. Would you be happy to spend your remaining years in Russia? Robert Jarman. We have a couple of great Australian footballers. Darren Jarman, by the way, from Adelaide. My wife kind of changes her mind every other day. So one day she wants to go back to Australia. One day she wants to stay here. One day she wants to go live in Thailand. One day she wants to live here. One day she misses Australia. So ultimately, I'd like us to live in Australia. Ultimately, purely because I know she likes the weather. She likes the beach. She likes blue skies every day. But the thing is, she likes Russia. So she likes having convenience of shops, pharmacies, healthcare, her doctors, I guess whatever different doctors she has. I guess you could say normalcy, like a normal life. I'm kind of able to fit in everywhere. She always wonders why, how can you be happy just sitting here at your computer all day and staring at your computer screen and looking out? We have a very nice balcony window here, like floor to ceiling window, looks over the town where we live. And I can just turn around, stare out the window for 5 minutes, and then come back to the computer and do what I'm doing. So I could live here the rest of my life. I could live in Australia the rest of my life. It's kind of like a best of both worlds, right? Is the grass really greener on the other side? I mean, I guess what's happening at the moment doesn't make it comfortable for some people. Some people, it's not worrying them whatsoever, and the next person is worried about when they hear like a noise out the window. So it's I could live here the rest of my life. I mean, am I going to be happy? I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy that my wife's happy. I think that's kind of the silly thing that I look at. Yeah. Do you have a Russian car? Do you have a car in Russia? If so, which brand? I don't have a car. No. I want a Lada Niva, which is like Chevy Niva. Lada Niva. My wife thinks it's most of them that we see are old rust bucket kind of ones, but that's the car I'd like. I've always wanted like a what's it called? Like a Chevy. It's like the Lada Niva, but there's a little bit bigger version. I'd like one of those. I had a Hyundai Getz in Australia, by the way, so I'm not into fancy cars, fancy this, big that. I just wouldn't drive it enough here. The amount of traffic on the roads and the amount of, I mean, I can get to Moscow. I can to go to that supermarket, which is 2 hours away. I mean, I can catch a bus, catch a couple of metros and get there. Based on the traffic to and from there yesterday, or I feel like it was yesterday, but I know it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. I can get there easily by public transport rather than a car. I know it's nice to sit in the car, heater on, radio playing. But sometimes the traffic here is just madness that you just don't want to. So it's called mobility. I guess you're talking about the car sharing. We've got Delhi Mobile. The one that we use is called what's the one that we use? It's called Belka Car, Belka Car, Belka Car, Delhi Mobile, and then City Drive. So basically, you pull up the app and it tells you like a GPS of where the car's parked. You approach it, you say that you want to rent it, and it tells you the price per minute. And then you can then just look at it for damage, and then say that let's go, and it unlocks, and there's a key that's hard locked into the car. Drive where you want. It's by the minute, so you pay less if you park up. Like if I drive to the shops and leave it parked there, you pay a lower price than physically driving it. And then we drive. Typically, I'll drive back, find a parking spot where I live, and then just end the rental. And yeah, you can go for it's about 9 rubles a minute. So I don't know how that translates. It's 9 rubles a minute, depending on the model of car. Sometimes it's 10. Hello from PA. Hello, Michelle. How's it going? Hello, Russell from the UK. Are you staying in Russia for good? For good. When we left to come here last year, we said that we were coming here temporarily, so that my wife could sort out quite a few things she needed to sort out here, which she's still working through. She's pretty much done everything that she wants to do. I guess it's mostly medical things that she was dealing with. So she now wants me to go back to work on the cruise ships, which I talked about in another stream. And that's still kind of pending at the moment. So, and every time that I say that I'm going to leave, I'm ready to go. I've got everything to literally get on the plane and go. Then she's like, I don't want you to go. I want you to stay. I'm going to miss you. So I don't know what she wants now, So the thing is, it's really down to YouTube and making the videos, making them successful, earning $60.66 in the next 6 days. 666. It's having to hit certain goals, for it to be viable to do YouTube. YouTube is hard. It's not easy, by the way. So hello from Australia. Oh, Toxic Q. Hello. How's it going? I'm from Perth, Australia, by the way. I don't know any other Australians are watching. Obviously, I'm a little bit behind the chat as quick as it scrolls. But today I watched the supercars. They were racing in the Gold Coast in Queensland. And then I watched the cricket. I've got a website that I can watch essentially any sport in the world on one website. And fortunately, I can watch any Australian sport anytime I want. So it's kind of a tough reason to leave, if that makes sense, because I'm happy watching TV in the kitchen here. So there's a lot of good things to stay versus, things to leave. Met an English-speaking Chinese man in Poland. When I told him I live in Peter, he said it was the most cultured part of Russia. Would you agree? I haven't been to St. Petersburg, but I hear a lot of good things about it like that. That it's more cultured and more diverse than in Moscow. Moscow is a working city. It's very hustle bustle, very like the last couple of, okay, not today, but the last couple of days I went to Moscow and back. And just the amount of, and I kind of caught the peak hours, which I don't normally do. I try and avoid those few hours in the morning and night with what we consider peak hours. And people just like ants running everywhere, and, they tell me that St. Petersburg is a little bit more slower paced than here in Moscow. So I'll have to agree without having been there. Sitting here chomping on Tim Horton Timbits. Christina, stop it. I've got, apart from the fruit behind me here. Now, someone, this is an interesting, right? Someone mentioned in the comment, when I did the Globus video, if anyone notices when I film the bit at the fruit and veg section, I literally just walk around and talk about what I see. And I was showing where you pay for, basically when you buy your fruit and veg, you put it in a bag and then you put it on the scale yourself, press the button, and it gives you the sticker. And there was a lady buying one orange and putting a sticker on it, right? So, and then someone questioned, people have got no money, they can't afford to buy oranges, they only bought one. But I bought one orange, just so we've got a little fruit bowl here. So that's hard to see, sorry. So yeah, we've got a few apples, we've got a few bananas. My wife's got some biscuits. We've got some nuts. I've got some chocolate wafer biscuits here, which are very nice, by the way. And these were like 60 rubles, like $1 or so. But yeah, I literally bought one orange, just so we have a little bit of different fruit on the fruit bowl. So yeah, I've got biscuits, just not Timbits or Tim Tams in Australia. We've got Tim Tams. Do you miss Tim Tams? Oh my God. It's like you guys reading what I'm saying without me saying things. I do miss Tim Tams. My wife misses Tim Tams as well. So if there's a reason for her to come back to Australia, yeah, especially when they're on special for $2. I was working at the supermarkets in Coles and Woolies, but mostly Coles. And obviously working there every day of the week between Coles and Woolies, I'd see all the specials, right? And how they cycle the specials every Wednesday. And I'd only buy them when they're the $2 price. If they were full price at $4 or $5, I wouldn't touch them. I'd be like, I'll wait till next week or I'll go to another store. So yes, congrats. Yes, thank you, Michael. Michelle, sorry. I'm looking at the next name here. Yeah, this 666 is very technically specific. So as long as the views stay good for the next 6 days, I don't know. Maybe some super chats. What do you call super stickers? Super thanks. Super dupers come, and it basically knocks the number down a lot quicker. Russian slang is funny. I want to be an expert in Russian Gopnik speech. I don't really know any of that. I'm like, what did you miss? Not much, John. We're just talking about superstitions and about the channel needing to hit $6, 66. And I just don't like that 666 thing. It's like in cricket, when you play cricket, people get stuck on a certain number on their score. And it's like suspicious if you get out on that number, So the job offer is still pending, Charlotte. So the problem is with the company that I'm applying to, I've got to do the whole onboarding process and the interview process, and then sending documents. It sounds hard, right? But it's really just electronic emails back and forward. And I imagine that the HR department for them is dealing with a lot more people than just me. Sometimes I hope it's just me in the world when I'm needing something done. Ploffs from the Middle East. Oh, there we go. Although very popular in Russian, nevertheless. Thank you, Mr. Russian. I'll have to tell my wife now and question her about why she made it today. Actually, John, funny you say that about. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose. When we watched the AFL Grand Final, the football Grand Final back in September, well, last month, about a month ago now, I met some Australian guys who we went to a bar to watch it, and we watched it live streaming. And there was a guy there who I didn't know at the time. So there's a couple of cafes in Moscow that have Australian meat pies for sale. So basically a pastry with a meat and a lid, kind of like any pie in the world, meat pie. And I already knew about this place at one of the particular locations, that it's always been there. And this guy said, I said, "Oh, what do you do for a job?" He said, "Oh, I work at the airport in catering." I said, "Oh, that's kind of interesting." He said, "Oh, but previously I owned cafes selling Australian pies." And I'm like, "It's not the place that I know in Danilovsky Market." As he said, "Yeah, I owned that one, but I've sold it now." And basically I put in place all of the procedures for them to, the people that now look after it, to make the pies to the Australian recipe. So he obviously being, I would imagine he's a chef or a cook or whatever he was, or in catering, he come up with the concept of selling meat pies in a little takeaway place. So I can get meat pies here, funny enough. They're not cheap if you compare Australian, Russian fast food, if you want to call it that. But stop trying to make YouTube people happy. I guess you're talking about the commenters, people commenting on videos. My goal is to answer every comment on every video. It's impossible now. So if you are commenting, I'm sorry if I don't get a chance to reply. I try to be there at least the first few hours after a video goes live, and then I'll spend maybe an hour a day trying to reply to as many as I can just to catch up. But it's just impossible when you're getting a few thousand comments on a video now. It's impossible to do. The difficult thing is once you reply, it disappears from the dashboard of YouTube. So you have to kind of go through a couple of steps to see the comments you've already replied to. So if someone replies back a second time, it doesn't automatically show you. You've got to go look for it. So everyone agrees. I like escapist stuff like this. Have you ever been to Sergei Prasad? No, yeah, we've been to Vladimir and Zuzdal, which is part of the Golden Ring. I guess that's what they call it. We stayed there for a few days with some friends, and it was actually really neat to go there we went for 3 days. And we got to kind of go a couple of days in a row to the same place, right? Rather than, a lot of people will go there for the day. It's quite a lot of hours driving and then go home all day, So I haven't been to Sergei Prasad, though. Moskovsky Oblast. Yes. That's what I need to say. Moskovsky Oblast, rather than saying Moscow region. Sorry. Have you seen koala bears? Yes, Michelle. Not in Moscow, I haven't, but in Australia, my wife and I took my wife to an animal sanctuary in Perth. There is only one official place in Western Australia or in Perth where you can hold a koala, and that's the wildlife park. I don't even know what the name of it. It's an Australian native animal sanctuary where they've got a lot of injured animals. They had a lot of parrots, kangaroos, wallabies, birds. They had emus. But my wife, we did the hold the koala experience. I didn't do it. She did it, but I just took all the photographs. And she thought it was the best thing in the entire world. And anytime you look at the photo again, she's the same way. It's not somewhere that you typically go twice to. I did offer to go again while we were there last year, but she didn't want to go again. So, what do you want to tell and show to your viewers? What's the global idea of your blog? Yeah, this is kind of difficult because the Traveling with Russell part was very general as a niche for the channel. And the idea was to do kind of one supermarket, one shopping center video, then maybe one at a park or one at walking somewhere like in Moscow. But it doesn't help when you kind of get a bit of a confused viewership. So you're going to do one video and get a few hundred views, and then the next video you get 20,000 views. And then you do the next video and it gets 500 views. And it kind of confuses the viewer, which is maybe you guys. And it then confuses me. YouTube's not confused, but the person making the videos is. So yeah, I'm not still sure what the global idea of my blog is. I'm sorry. What do I want to tell? Just come back to that. Just what do I want to tell and show to your viewers? I really want to just show normal life, normal everyday life, by showing my background since I was 14 was working in shops. So retail shops, shopping centers. I worked at the airport, duty-free shops, worked on cruise ships in retail. When I was back home, I was doing merchandising. I was doing store build-outs, refitting shops, petrol station retail. So pretty much that's my knowledge. Anything to do with shops or shopping. I could walk into a store and tell you what's wrong within 5 minutes, what could be corrected, what could be fixed, how you could do things better. Most people don't want to listen to me, but I can. So yeah, just showing things like that, going to the this underground warehouse store. I mean, that was a brand new business that was literally, I would love to know what date they officially opened. It would be in the last month, maybe 2 months. But my next video, sorry, I think way earlier there was a question about what's my next video. It's actually the point of me going out there not to film the video at the warehouse, was to go to another shop in a little shopping center across the street, which I don't think was in the background at all. But there was another store that I really wanted to go to, which I hadn't filmed before, called Chiswick or Little Bird. But I knew about this place. Was in the same area. So I'm like, well, I may as well do both while I'm there. So I just wanted to show the differences of a couple of different market shops. And that's what I want to do. So missing Australian culture must be hard for you not to be able to speak English language, not to have small talk with friends. Do you meet with English speakers in Moscow? Mr. Russian, yeah, I do. I've got a few people in the town where I live here that speak English. And I also chat online very frequently with a couple of British guys, a couple of Australian guys, a couple of Australians that are not in Moscow. They're in Yekaterinburg, St. Petersburg. So yeah, I definitely chat to people in English a lot. Yeah, the small talk thing is kind of the key part of what you're mentioning there. Like with my neighbor Gleb, who has now left. He was kind of the perfect guy what I could have small talk with, and he understood in English when I talked about Russian small talk. So, when I asked my wife about the bill for the electricity here, she's like, oh, it's too difficult to explain. But if I talk to Gleb, he'll explain it, and it's not a problem. It's like, okay, no worries. And he'll give me the exact answer, whereas when my wife, she's like, oh, it's too hard to explain to you. So, that small talk thing, I think, is very true. That's what I do miss. But having people, Russian friends who speak, I'd say the word fluent English or, very good English, it is very helpful though. Tell me for internet speed and quality, how much and how many. I don't know what our speed is, but I know I pay 600 rubles a month. That's what I do know. I pay 600 rubles a month to the guy at the little office at the train station. And if somehow we don't get the message to pay, my wife pays it on the phone. And it perfectly runs my laptop, which is a very nice laptop that I've had for a few years. And my wife can watch streaming television in the lounge room. We got a little modem in the hallway. and then our phones connect to it when we come home as well. So I'm not sure what speed it is, but we pay $600 a month. So I can download very fast if I want to download TV shows or movies. So Celeste, hello. Sorry if you're late. You can always scrub back. While you're watching it live, you can scrub back. It's called scrubbing back when you drag through the video to watch it at the same time. Even if it's live, you can still watch it from the beginning later, and it will just eventually catch up, if that makes sense. I love supercars. Yes. Yeah, the V8 supercars. Yeah, they do one round in Perth every year. I've never been to them, but they mostly drive on the East Coast, all the tracks. And then a couple of weekends ago, they had the Bathurst 1000, Mount Panorama. A girl I went to high school with is married to a Subaru rally car driver, which is kind of a big deal. Well, big, small deal, if that makes sense. Anybody know anybody famous? Let me know. Suggested to Russian guys above to try translate. Yes. Otherwise, I can't read anything that's in Russian. I'm sorry, guys, if you're watching and you're Russian and it doesn't translate or I doesn't have subtitles on live streams. Hello from Perth, Fremantle. Do you miss Perth? Miller. I went to school in Fremantle, by the way. I went to John Curtin College of the Arts, or John Curtin Senior High School back then. I miss some things about Perth. I miss Red Rooster. That's why we had roast chicken the other night, 2 nights ago. I went and got a whole chook and had roast chicken, chicken wing, chicken leg, and rip it apart. And you get such a good meal for, how much was it? It was only $10. Oh, it was less than $10. $9.50 or so Australian. I quote a lot of things in US dollars. I'm sorry, but that's just the general population of the channel. But a whole chook was $9.50. So yeah, Fremantle I know very well. My uncle lives in South Fremantle. If you know South Terrace and 205. So that would be really, if you're really from Fremantle, you know 205, then he lives right by that place. If you don't know that, then I don't know. Got to have my sugar. Christine, fruit by the kilo is brilliant. It saves on food waste. Yes. Yeah, that's the whole thing as well. I mean, there is some packaged fruit and vegetables here, but pretty much everything is paid by weight. We won't really buy. I mean, we might buy tomatoes sometimes where they've got them in a punnet, like the cherry tomatoes. But that's about it. Everything else, we'll just buy the quantity we need. So literally, and we'll go buy it every few days. So we'll only go buy, maybe half kilo of cucumbers, half kilo of tomatoes, and we'll just go back and buy more. The fruit thing is just a bit of a one-off because I was tired. I mean, I buy bananas all the time because it's about $1.20 a kilo. But I just thought I'd have some oranges just for a change. Is the stream Russell in the stream looks younger than in recorded videos? Is he prepared for the stream? Yeah, I did shave today. So that's probably why. My wife said I look younger today. She goes, my hair looked better. That's why I've got a shiny head, because my wife put lotion on as well. She got me lotion to buy. So yes, quite often when I've gone out after a couple of days of not shaving and I've got my jacket and my hat on, I look a little bit rugged. So yes, completely agree. Thank you. Here it looks like an interview on a small channel in which we can participate. I like it. Yes, it is like that. Yeah, that's the whole point of live streams, chatting back and forward, and just talking about life, I guess. Yaroslav, I love Russia. Thank you. And Ran. Lots of trees. I guess there's lots of trees here. Love the culture. Love the Cossack dancers. Yeah, that's very, I don't see Cossack dancers like you see on the TV and the movies and I don't know. I think I've seen them maybe once or twice at like cultural events, but you just don't see them really. Arrow. Cool what you do. Thank you, I think. Ross, you need to explain to how dangerous drop bears are in Australia. Yeah, that's a bit of an Aussie thing that Australians know only about drop bears. So, yeah, koalas fall out of the tree and hurt people. When you're walking and they fall out of the trees, you've got to watch out for drop bears. I remember watching, what was that TV show on Discovery Channel where guys were making chopper bikes, American Chopper? And they did a few episodes where they came down to Australia and they were reminded of it. I think they must have rented some bikes while they were there with some other bike guys. And the guy said, "Oh, look out for bears falling out of the trees while you're driving your motorbikes." How good can you speak Russian? Not very good. Malenki по-русски. Нет понимай по-русски. Нет понимай. I don't understand. I'm a former retail manager. I still go into stores and see things that are incorrect and fight the mindset to fix it. It drives my family nuts. Yes, back home when I was going to Coles supermarket, because I was working at Coles at different locations to the one where I lived, it was exactly like that, because I was doing the same tasks that they would do in their store. I was doing it in another store, 45 minutes drive from where I lived. So when I'd go to my local Coles, because it was where we lived, I'd always sort of pick up on what they've done right or wrong, or I'd rearrange some shelves and stuff like that. And my wife hates it. She doesn't want to go to the supermarket with me. Try to use the internet as little as possible. Believe it's under the control of dark forces. Though I can't be specific. Yeah, that's interesting. You don't know, right? I mean, Nova Scotia, Canada. Oh, nice place. I've cruised on ships to Sydney. Where do we go? St. John, Newfoundland, and St. John's, New Brunswick. Bar Harbor, was that Maine, I think? I think shopping must increase the mood. I like to watch the channel of Russell. His reviews increases my mood. I discovered it's so funny and interesting and funny. Thanks. Yeah, it's kind of, and I feel like the videos are too long. I want to do them under 30 minutes, so somewhere about 20 minutes ish. But then when I edit it together, it's hard to, wonder if it's too long or it's not too long. So, yeah. 600 rubles is $13 Canadian, and for the internet, yes. Now, I pay roughly that for my phone bill as well. My wife pays that. I don't pay it because it registers in her name, my SIM card. So I know she transfers the money. Yeah, I don't think our internet's that fine. 1 gigabit download. I know it's very fast though when I do downloading. For the normal internet use, like I'm doing like this and having 3 screens open and tabs open, it's completely perfectly fine. In Australia, I was paying about $60 a month for unlimited. I know that wasn't the top plan, but it was perfectly fine for what I needed in Australia. So to go from $10 to $60 with a person from Canada. Oh, there you go. Yeah, one lady that I met on the bus a few nights ago, who I must have met before because she knew my name and we were chatting. She said that I should set up a little English club here in the town where we live and get other people who want to speak English to meet up together and chat and talk English, right? Or have English conversation. Yeah, we pay through the nose in Canada. My work is as a fire rescuer, or like a fireman. We call fireman, or I think that's the right term now. It still hasn't changed, has it? Is it a fire person now? You can't say fireman anymore. I don't see the fire truck going by here very often. It's not too far down the road from us. I see the ambulances go by a lot because we're down the street from the hospital. So they typically go up and down our road quite a lot. But fire trucks, I don't see very often here. If your nose itches, it means you're going to drink alcohol today. It always works for me. Yeah, I'm not, but just double itch. You are getting to another 10K much faster than the first 10K. Yes. Yeah. Is it going to, can we pop it up? Yes. Is it updated? Has that moved? No. Where's the screen? Let me just pull that up. There we go. It updated very fast then. Here in Nova Scotia, $60 considered dirt cheap for internet. Most plans are way higher. Yeah, in Australia as well. People are paying as much as about $100 per month for internet in Australia. I mean, I was happy with it's like $59.99 or something. I know when we bundled between our 2 mobile phones and then the internet, it was a bit cheaper. They give you a discount the more things you bundle. So I know it was $60 though, because I just remember working it out that first time, and I was, very positive person. It's pleasant to listen to him. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I'm glad today's practice. My confidence will grow, and hopefully to watch a full show soon. Oh, I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, it's Vinny Me. Hello from Melbourne. Yes. What happened to the cricket yesterday? It was rained out. And then today I watched New Zealand, Sri Lanka. But I was hoping for the Australia-England match yesterday. So Australia really need to win now against Ireland and Afghanistan to qualify, or we're pretty much gone. Hello, so much kilometers at me. Are you always in a good mood? Yes, I am. My wife gets tired of it, that I'm always happy and I'm always like this, and I don't have anything that's on my mind. It's occasionally, like the 5 minutes before I went live today, because my dad was trying to call me, like video call me. What happens is my phone, I have got to put a VPN on to connect Facebook. So, but it'll still call through as though the Facebook works, but obviously it doesn't in Russia. So it's like, bzz, 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 but he's trying to call me, but it's easy to switch the computer on to get to the Facebook. And then my dad's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I told you I'm doing the live stream. So I had 5 minutes of stress before the live stream started, but otherwise, yes, that's always how I am like this. Got to leave for the day. No worries. If you've left already, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the chat as well. My Life Pixeled he's also one of the channel's members of the channel as well. So you'll see that little symbol by his name. If anyone wants to, I'm going to do a live stream for what do you call this again? Members tomorrow. I don't know how different it'll be. It'll be less people for sure. But I need to do one because it's nice to give back to people who are watching the channel. See you all another time. Thank you, Christine. Yes. Where are we at? An hour and 8? Yeah, we got about 20 minutes of the live stream still. So I'm on fiber paying for 400. I don't know what I had, John. I had Vodafone because I literally, when I came back from the ships, I was in lockdown, and the house where I was staying for 2 weeks didn't have internet connected. And I didn't have a modem. So I ordered a modem online. It actually did work, plugged straight into the wall. And it was $60 a month. That's what I know. So I don't know about the per day price, but it seems to differ on the way you both view the current situation. Has this put any sort of strain on your friendship? Not at all, Sam. I chatted to him yesterday and the day before. We just do voice chatting where we record messages on Telegram back and forward, or sometimes we type to each other, but recording a voice for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes back and forward is easier. Not at all. I mean, he's got his thing going on. I've got mine. I guess his videos have changed a lot in the year that I've known him. And he'll say that as well, that what he's doing is very different to what he did a year ago as well. But no, friends are still friends. I mean, I always say that, right? We're like, I've got friends since primary school and high school, and we'll always just say, but we're high school friends, we're primary school friends, and no matter what our differences are, it's still true friendship. So Oh, I'm from Ufa, capital, but that's where my wife is from. Do you know something about small nations of Russia? Yes, I know about Ufa. And I went actually on this channel. If you look through the very first videos, maybe sort by oldest first, there's a couple of videos in Davlekanova, which is where my wife's auntie lives. And that's where she was. I don't know if I think she was born in Ufa, though, not in Davlekanova. I have to ask my wife now. But that's where her family is from, Davlekanova. So, yeah, I do know a little bit about Ufa and about Salarat Ulayev. He's the guy on the horse right on the side of the cliff, on the side of the river mountain there, or the yeah. Do you like Vegemite? Did you buy it in Russian? I don't. I like Vegemite, but I don't. This last year when I came back, I didn't bring any. I don't like it enough to have a jar of it here. We always had it in the fridge in Australia, but my wife doesn't like it. Anytime I brought it here as gifts for people, it just is like, okay, thanks, and that's it. And there's no real love for it. So, good evening from Samara, beautiful Russian city on the Volga. Yeah, my 3 days ago, I met up with an Australian guy who was visiting Moscow for the day. So he came on the train overnight. I met him early morning in Moscow. This is 3 days ago. I forgot what day now. Saturday today, Thursday. And we went out to Vdenha for the day, went to Moscow Center, to around Red Square area. And then I took him to the train station to Komsomolskaya. And then I think it was the one across is Yaroslavl, Kazan. And he took the train to Samara that night, an overnight train to Samara. And then I think he's back in St. Petersburg already. He was only there for a couple of days. He's doing like flying visit to make some YouTube videos. So we walked around Vdenha together, looking at the different region buildings. Wondering how much time does YouTube take out of your day? Well, it's probably a few hours a day. Maybe it's longer. I do watch YouTube at the same time, so I kind of have it open and watching things. Typically, most of it's just spending replying to comments, making the thumbnail, which is probably a lot easier than I make it out to be. And editing the video takes a little while too, especially if I've filmed too much. So I'd say it's probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours a day. Probably is longer because I sit here a lot more than I sit in the lounge room and watch TV in the other room. I'm much more comfortable here. I'm closer to food and drink. Australian lazy guy doesn't want to go too far to eat, and drink. So, there's people from everywhere. Hello from Belgorod. Здравствуйте. Hello. That's crazy that we've got so many Russian people watching the channel versus non-Russian. I should do like a poll. So let's just see what it says there. 1 second. Let's press that. Close. Are you superstitious? Oh, close. Open. 67% said no, they're not, from 138 votes. That's kind of interesting. 33% said they are. So yeah, look at that. 1/3 of people are suspicious. That's kind of interesting poll. Sam, what's the importance of 60 Solar 66? So between Wednesday, so basically YouTube's 2 days behind on its analytics. So 25th was the last reporting day for the statistics. And now that it's the weekend, it kind of goes on technically 3 days behind now over the weekend. But from Wednesday the 26th till the 31st, if the ad revenue from the videos do $60.66 per day, or whatever combined income it is, so if it's super chats, super thanks, super stickers, if they amount to $60 per day on average, 0.66, for 6 calendar days, it'll be the highest statistics for the channel. Does that sound right? In the 3 years that I've been trying to do YouTube. But I guess there's a little bit of luck. in making videos. Sometimes, if I look back at the video of the Iran car that I filmed, that had crazy amount of views, which I didn't think it would, versus the other videos that I constantly make on the channel. So, yeah, I mean, I went there to go look for that car. I specifically went there to that expo because I knew that car was there, and I thought it'd be interesting just to see it. I know there is Iranian cars on the road in Moscow. I just need to go find them. I could walk up and down streets looking for certain models of cars if that was what I wanted to do. But yeah, strangely, Western Siberia. Wow. Again, I can't read your name in Russian. I wish I could read the words. I guess it starts with an A though. Maybe it's Atom. I'm sorry. Colonel. I guess I'll go call you by your middle name, Colonel. So yeah, I'm not shy in telling people how the channel is doing and when it's doing good or not doing good. I would never expect me walking around an Iranian car in a car parts expo would get 300,000 views. I went to the Mercedes car dealership and I got 5,000 views. So, but I thought that was interesting because it's luxury cars and the luxury car market and the price of cars. But I'm guessing once I eventually go to a Lada car dealership and show like the everyday Russian cars, it might be more interesting for people outside of Russia. So Russia. Well, let's do this poll. Start a poll. Where are you watching from? Let's do that. We'll go outside Russia or inside Russia, which is I think we'll just do 2. Hopefully that's an easy enough answer question to do on the poll. Yeah, Russia is not merely the biggest country, it's a different planet. Fortunate to discover it from the UK. Planet Russia is fantastic and surreal. Never want to leave. Yeah, look, I've got to ask my mum because years ago she did a couple of different clairvoyance and palm readings, and I don't remember when I've had one done what they said about my future, like marrying someone, meeting somebody, where I'm going to live. But a lot of things that happened with my mum and dad's, like my dad's job or career, they told my mum that he was going to drive something big. And at the time, my uncle was working as a longshoreman at the ports, where the ships come in, and he was doing the crane unloading of the cargo ships and the container ships. So, and in Australia, typically, if you work at the wharfs back in the day, you could get hired as like father or son or relative almost automatically. Father and son rule, so brother and brother rule. And my mum thought that my dad was going to get a job working at the wharf with his brother, my Uncle Peter. And it turns out he became a bus driver. And he drove buses for most of his life until a few years ago when he retired. So, the clairvoyant was kind of true, just wasn't particular about the job that he got, so. Yeah, so I wish it didn't round to 666, by the way, but that's just the luck of YouTube, I think. Just when I added it up and divided it by how many days and how many days left in the month, I always like to go by averages rather than dreaming of something, Have I seen any iconic Soviet movies? No, I don't watch. My wife watches some things, particularly at Christmas. They've got a lot of the same stuff over the 10-day Christmas holiday or New Year holiday. Especially the really old stuff. My wife watches some things. I don't tend to watch them. If we watch stuff together, we'll watch it in English. So she's got like TV streaming and movies. So we'll just put it on in English and watch it if we watch movies or television together. Hello from Texas. Oh, hello. How's it going? And Tuki Tuki, I know that you're a long-time watcher of the channel. Again, some people here are obviously serial watchers of the channel, and people who comment a lot on the videos. So just got back from 14 days round trip to Norway from London. Northern Lights was amazing. Wow. That would have been cool. Just to see the Northern Lights. I've seen them in Alaska, but it wasn't really like, problem with working on the ship is you don't go out on deck and look. So you might go out after work and just have a look up there and hope to see them. But, I didn't. So that would have been a cool cruise. What are or were the other reasons you were drawn to Russia? That's about it, apart from my wife. I guess her asking me to come here after we first met. So basically, she invited me to come and visit her in Russia after we met. We met in Thailand on separate holidays. And I guess since that day that I first came, I kind of was comfortable here. I was okay. The first maybe trip wasn't, catching buses and metros and going into Moscow. I mean, I would never have gone 2 hours to the other side of Moscow to go look at a supermarket on that kind of first trip I was here. I was hesitant to even go from the train station where I live to Kiev railway station. So that's the nearest major station to me in the center of Moscow, if you like, the center. And I'd get off there, I go to the shops nearby, and I get on the train home, and that was it. So now I can happily go anywhere I like, do what I like, and not worry about it. My wife, when I'm at this place on the other side of Moscow. What? Really? And even she hasn't been there to where I went to before. So yeah, I think working on cruise ships has done that to me, where, every day you wake up, you're in a different port or a different place, and you do long enough on the ship, so you go back maybe next week on the next cruise, and you kind of it's just a normal thing that you're somewhere different. And go to Jamaica, what would we do? Go to the beach, or we go to KFC and have lunch, go buy some snacks. What do you do in Jamaica? Oh, we went to KFC. Not exciting, but when you're working on the ship, you don't necessarily want to do something when you're on a port day, so. And it'd be nothing for me to say that to somebody, and people will be like, wow, you're in Jamaica. Wow, what did you do? Went to KFC. Or we were in Grand Cayman. What did you do? I didn't get off the ship and I did my washing. So got the same voice as my Scottish friend. The first time I heard your speech, I was confused. Yeah, I guess my slang is not as Australian. It's probably a little bit more British, English. Mostly probably because I talk to people here, obviously in English, but I tend to correct a lot of the words that I say, and I try to simplify my conversation with people so that if they have limited English knowledge, they understand the words I'm saying. But if I talk in Australian, I'll be just like, and putting slang words in there that you won't understand. So that's just the way I am, that I correct a lot of the English that I talk. Is there a place in Moscow similar to Fremantle Markets? I guess, not really. Oh, well, I guess, I guess like with the food and the handicrafts and the people that make stuff. My wife loves Fremantle Markets, by the way. There used to be a lot more fruit and veg market out the back, and there's obviously less now, and it's mostly the Vietnamese market gardeners. There's similar places to it. Not exactly like it, but more Soviet-style markets, which are a little bit more simpler. That makes sense. We call them rynuks here, but it's same but not the same. Russia also has northern lights. We're in borders with Norway. Yeah, in Murmansk and Karelia. Yeah, that would be cool to see. I know I keep saying about this, and I just need to have that invite from somebody and go book a train ticket, go somewhere obscure, meet somebody, do something. I'm trying to talk my friend into going just to Vladimir and meeting him for a few days, and hang out. I know that's not that far from Moscow, but please tell me why you are doing this. I don't know why I'm doing it. I enjoyed doing my cruise channel. Most of the videos on that one, on the I Like Cruise Ships channel, is kind of helpful videos. I'm just going to pull up the... Okay, we're not any closer to 20,000, so I guess it won't really come on the live stream. But it's 883, so it's getting closer. So I guess making the videos, a lot of the videos that or pretty much all the videos that I made on the cruise channel were basically what's called evergreen videos or searchable videos. So that's very bright. Let me just take that off my screen. So I wanted to make videos that people would type something into YouTube and the video would come up to watch. So talking about Jamaica before. So if you put Ocho Rios cruise terminal into YouTube, actually, what's the screen I've got here? Yeah. Let's do this. Let's see if it comes up. Yeah, because it probably might. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to put Ocho Rios cruise terminal into Google. Okay, this is completely without me suggesting anything. And if you scroll down right here, I'm the second video. Someone's trumped me. Cruise tips by the jelly beans. That's my video right there. Ocho Rios Cruise Terminal full walk around. That's my video right there. From 2019, July 3rd, 27-minute video, walking off the ship, walking around the cruise terminal, talking about what you can do, where you immediately walk off the ship, what to expect, what to see. That's kind of interesting that I'm the second one. So someone's got... So yeah, so that's called a searchable video or a evergreen video. So that'll sit there for life, indexed by Google, and someone will click that, hopefully, and watch it. 10 key moments. So I go there, you see there, that's me in the picture. Bit hard to see. Port area, where to get off the ship, coffee shop and Wi-Fi, taxis and minibuses. So YouTube does all of that for you. If I do, this one may not come up. Paradise Beach, Cozumel. Cozumel, that's in Mexico, by the way. It may not come up because there's a million people that have made this video now. Actually, I'm the third one. Check that out right here, 2020. January 28, 2020. All-inclusive resort review and full something or other. I think it's full walk around. So Zach, the traveling man, beat me, and then Cruise Habits beat me. So the idea was that the videos that I'd make would be searchable, so that it's kind of like they passively get viewed over time. So no matter, I can be in bed tonight and that video from 2 years ago is still getting views without me doing anything. But the idea was, at the time that I was on the ship, was just to make these videos and upload them to the channel, just do walkarounds. Obviously, I'm not making it for somebody. I'm making it for anybody who watches it. And that's the point of the video. And that's the point of what I was trying to do on this channel. But the titles are a little bit harder to do where they become searchable. So I imagine if you put Russian supermarket, there's probably 100 videos before mine. But if I made it specifically about the name of the supermarket, it would be more searchable long term. But in the short term, people won't probably find it. You know, would you, if anyone's in the world not in Russia, so what have we got? So 35% of people watching out of 50 votes. Okay, so not as many people voting. Inside Russia would know the names of the supermarkets, so like Ashan, Pitorichka, Magnit. But if I put that into a title, it won't get initial views, but 5 years from now it will. So long answer. Hope that's nice. Enjoy your time in Russia. Oh, the nostalgia. My wife and son is in Moscow now. And I'm in Dubai with my work, so missing the place big time. Oh, nice. Well, nice that you're not together, but nice you're in Dubai. My wife likes Dubai. She's been there a few times. She had Russian friends working there at the time. So she basically went and stayed with them. I think for an Australian Russian might be yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I think for an Australian Russian might be as exotic as usual as an Australian is for Russian, especially climates and traditions. Yeah, it's interesting when I was there. So we're on 882. It's not going to update because there's nobody else liked, subscribed. Yeah, I guess from the time that I was in Australia with my wife last year, it's still a year ago. Well, the start of last year. We met a lot of Russian people through my wife and through some YouTube, Facebook groups. And pretty much it was the same classic story. A Russian girl, Russian wife, Russian girlfriend with Australian, with an Australian husband. And where did they meet? Bali, Thailand, Vietnam. Very similar stories to our story. And my wife laughed at it by the end because it was like very she's like, why did I go to Thailand? Why did I meet you? Why was I drunk that night, at the karaoke bar when we were singing? So yeah, but a lot of it was interesting to meet different Russian people, or who had Australian husbands. Obviously we go to barbecues and family, friends' houses, and just to see how they've acclimatized to live in Australia and how Aussie they'd become, because you become Aussie over time, right? You maybe say certain words or, live a different way to the Russian life. And it was interesting because it was obviously hard for my wife to get acclimatized quickly. They'd say it takes 2 or 3 years to fully feel comfortable living in Australia coming from Russia. So, do you have kids? We don't. No. If so, are they bilingual? How does Russian education differ from Australian? Yeah, we don't have kids. I would like them to be bilingual. Absolutely would love them to learn as many languages as they can learn. I think, this day and age, I think it's nice to have more languages than just the one that you speak. I'm probably not a good example that I don't speak enough Russian. So yeah, I can't really compare education. I've been to the local school a couple of times. They've invited me to talk English to the English classes that they host. The school is very nice, by the way. There's a couple of schools in the town where we live. School number 1 and school number 3. They name by numbers the schools in most towns. So it's school number 1 and number 3. And yeah, the school is very nice. The teachers. I guess I'm very limited to what I saw and did and met and things like that. But hello from Houston. Hello, and also a channel member as well. Thank you. We are going to schedule a members live stream tomorrow. Roughly this time, actually a little bit earlier than this time tomorrow. Maybe I'll be just chatting to myself. Maybe someone will watch. I don't know. So we'll see if anyone's a channel member, how that'll go. It might be a disaster, but a few people keep asking me for it. So what do I think about the population decline? I think we'll ever be able to build an economy or I can't really Ironwood, that's a big question. I'm not really like Constantine inside Russia where he'll do entire topics about things. Yeah, I don't think the amount of people leaving is really kind of justified to the population. I mean, hundreds of millions of people live here, 100 million plus, and a few 100,000 people leaving isn't a big dent in the population. I mean, I don't think so, but I mean, a lot of people misunderstand that, like people that have left Ukraine, I mean, the second most populous country where they've gone to after Poland is Russia. And also the amount of Ukrainians that have moved to the Donbass region, to Mariupol, to this area. There was actually, I think CNN did a video about it or a piece about it where they were filming at some of the checkpoints. And they obviously don't want to be on camera when they were getting questioned by the reporter, but he was like asking why people were leaving. And they're like, oh, we've got relatives. My great-grandmother lives there or something. And their entire car is packed. And they basically left Ukraine to go to what is Russia, or however far they've driven. I mean, obviously not everybody is in Poland that went to Poland. A lot of them went to other countries, and that was where the first point of entry outside of Russia, Ukraine was. So, I mean, they don't talk about how many thousands of people a day are coming back to Ukraine either. So people cross the border, they spent whatever XYZ time there, and then literally cross back into Ukraine because they got to cross the border, and then that's it. Bag in hand, what do we do? Where do we go? What can we do? What's possible? And then a lot of people just came back. So, now it's a lot of chat now. Now I'm too slow. Oh my gosh. I thought I was really on top of it. Oh no, I've scrolled too. My mouse, I need a new mouse. This mouse is the basicest, cheapest looking thing, and it was absolutely beautiful until about a week or so ago. And now the wheel doesn't scroll properly. Does that make sense? Oh, there we go. I've enjoyed your channel, and it gives an unfiltered view of the life in Russia from a Western's perspective. Thanks, John. Yeah, I hope that it comes across that way. Oh, hi from a wet, windy, cold Bonnie, Scotland. Yes, it's not. It's been wet today. It's not windy today, but it's definitely. Well, probably today is a little bit warmer than it was the last 2 days. The exact 2 days when I went to Moscow was cold. Probably not Scotland cold, but where it's kind of damp and drizzly and, kind of that just where it's like damp in the air, where it's like it should rain, but it hasn't, either rain or don't rain, not do the middle thing, And I really love watching your videos. It's like I get to see my own country through foreigners' perspective. It's really interesting and entertaining experience. Thank you, Alex. Yeah. It's this is the whole thing with YouTube, right? How it, like Anne there from Scotland. I mean, I'd love to go to Scotland, but the reason I want to go is to go see the whiskey distilleries. And when I've talked to people from Scotland, they're like, "Oh yeah, I live up the road from this distillery, or whatever the next town is that distillery." And I want to go there just to experience it and see it and know that's where that bottle came from. I was selling alcohol in the duty-free shops on cruise ships, and I wanted that, experience of that. And probably for Anne, she's like, "Oh, it's just up the road. We can drive there in 20 minutes and be there." And it's, and Scotland is what it is, right? But it's where you're from, where you've grown up. I think everybody in the world who likes golf wants to go to St. Andrews for one day or whatever, how many days. Christine's back. Please, Russell, make videos of markets in your city and Moscow. Rinox. Mila, they don't really encourage, they don't really like you filming in the Rinox or the markets. I've tried, I've done different videos. Actually, on my cruise channel on I Like Cruise Ships, if you can find the Russian playlist of videos, I've done a couple of different ones. They're just not, although you can film in public in Russia, there's a law and decree that lets you do it. For some reason, at the food markets and the Rinox, they frown upon it. Let's say frown upon it. So I would love to do them. I just need to find the ones where they're a little bit more camera friendly. I'm being very polite in the way I say it because it just bothers me that they get upset. The metro, yes. Well, the underground, I guess it's called that. It's like a museum. Well done, Russia. Yeah, the if you ever go to the channel and you're not a subscriber, the first video if you are a subscriber, you can put like a home video, and the one is where I went to the secret Moscow metro restaurant or cafeteria in Arbatskaya metro station. And they've got a little cafeteria that you can go to there. It's very tiny, like literally 4 tables. And anyone I talk to doesn't know about it, that there's a little cafeteria. It's on the actual platform of the train station, of the metro station. But yeah, even actually filming in the metro, it's kind of not encouraged. You just have to be a little bit, look like a tourist when you're filming in there. Have you ever seen the video Russian last stand in Ukraine and demographics? No, I haven't seen that. No, I'm not sure which one that is. So what store gives the most pushback about filming in their stores? Has any store said you cannot film? Sam, yeah, that's actually just talking about that from making videos. The next video I'm going to do, which is at the Chiswick, actually, which is where I went to go film it, actually, and then I did the underground warehouse one. They were completely happy. They were like, come in, do what you like, film as much as you like, no worries. The reason why you see quite a few videos at Globus as well is Globus is very camera friendly and don't mind you filming. Also Pitorichka as well. There's actually a symbol out the front which says, like smiling for cameras, like you can make videos. So yeah, mostly at the food markets, which is the non-branded supermarkets, they don't like it. I guess the word pushback is probably right. Yeah, they just bring their kind of like their security guards. But it's completely allowed to film. The problem with the markets and the open markets is there's possibilities that some of the goods aren't acquired legitimately, or some of the people working there aren't there legitimately as well. So, yeah. Need to go to Vladimir, breathtaking golden ring. Yeah, I'm going to talk my friend into inviting me. Where Russians once started out of the country with 1,000-years-old cathedrals and monasteries. Yeah, in Suzdal, we went and saw some of the different places. Alex, yeah, I'm going to talk my friend into inviting me, or I'm going to talk myself into inviting myself to come stay with him. And actually, we can talk about YouTube as well. He makes videos. So, Kurt, how's it going? This explains only I would European. I'm talking about the last 200 years. Yeah, I should watch more like history kind of stuff on YouTube, but I tend to not. So, Brett, how's it going? Good to see you. Sorry, I'm just waving like I wave in my welcome videos. Sorry, it's very static. Kirsty, hello. Oh, there's a few people coming later. Did I get the time wrong, or I think I've started the video earlier than normal. So maybe it's just not the perfect time during the day for the videos that I make. So hello from beautiful and sunny Hawaii. Come on. I love watching your videos. Keep up the great work. Oh, mahalo. And mahalo? Is it mahalo and kahala? No, mahalo and kahala? No. I stayed in Kahala when I was there, by the way. Apart from being on the cruise ships there, I was on. So you got Pride of America, the cruise ship there that's doing the Hawaiian Islands. I went on a cruise on that ship. Actually, the company I work for paid for the cruise. I kind of asked, can I go on the cruise for a holiday? And they ended up paying for me. So I was like, yeah, thank you. Is it impossible for you to work in Russia, or would it have to be on the cruise ships? No, I can work here with the visa that I'm on. Obviously, not knowing the language is difficult. Most of the English-speaking expatriates here tend to be in teaching or some kind of education sort of jobs where they don't speak the language. There's a lot of positions for that. I just need to find the right one because I'm not the best at searching for them and so on. So, yeah. Should make a blooper video. Yeah, the blooper video would be more like all these. Sorry, everybody from Russia, but all of the babushkas, like the one when I went to Chiswick. My God, that lady. I literally walked in the entrance of the little mall, and you'll see it in the video where I just walk in and then I'll walk into the supermarket, and I just don't put it on camera. But that lady, she was something else. There was a girl that spoke English, and I asked her just to tell her what I'm doing. And the lady that spoke English was just laughing. Her parents came over. They were laughing. And then this lady pulled out her camera and started filming me. Like, you're just wasting your time, you know? The staff actually in the shop were completely fine with me filming. I did actually ask somebody, because I just tend to just ask, is it okay? They're like, yeah, no worries. They don't really, they just, because my phone just looks like it doesn't look like a professional camera, the way it's set up. Whereas if you were like media, they wouldn't like it. But if you're just filming like vlogging, it's not a problem, I've seen an Englishman get told off for filming in the market without Arabs in Kiev. No idea why. Yeah, basically in any of the open markets or the clothing markets, like there's one here called Sadavot, which is on the other side of Moscow from me. Crazy market, crazy place. Even people that are in Moscow who are Russians that know Sadavot don't like it because it's just so crazy there, and they get very emotional. But because a lot of them are just there, I'm going to say probably they're illegal or they don't have the papers or residency for Moscow or in Russia. They're from other regions, or the businesses that they're dealing or working in aren't maybe legal. I don't know. I can't quote that, but I'd imagine there's something behind it. Why do you live in Russia? Oh, I'm married with a Russian. She's not here. She's at work today. It's now 6:50 p.m. Yeah. So she knows I was doing the live stream now as well. So yeah, we live here because we got married here. Get to work building roads. I don't know about North Koreans. Most of the people that you see doing construction, like the apartment buildings and towers, tend to be from Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Armenia, Georgia. I don't tend to see anyone that kind of looks Asian, if you like. Being from Australia, we have a lot of Asian people live in Australia. You don't see too many here. Maybe occasionally some Chinese. Actually, on the train coming home the other day, I met a group of guys they were literally stood next to me. And I'm like, oh, you're speaking Spanish. And they were from Cuba. And they were such nice guys. We chatted for about 20 minutes on the train. We were going to almost the same stop. But Cuban guys, they were probably students, I think. They were quite young. But we were talking about baseball and Fidel Castro and everything that's very quintessential Cuban, so... Russians do not have to pay dollars to pay Russian workers. Yeah, it's still rubles here. If I worked in a job, it would still be paid in rubles to me. If I worked, no matter what job I would do here. Yeah, actually, there we go. I'm not just. This is how a little bit behind, a few minutes behind. Yeah, you must visit the market Sadavot. It's easy to get lost there. Yes, I've been there a few times. Actually, I went there to film across the road at Beladacha. It's a huge. For anyone that doesn't know, so there's the massive markets. They're kind of like the Chinese markets. There's a lot of stuff from China there, Turkey. Then across the highway, there is one of the biggest shopping centers in Moscow there as well, called Beladacha, which is it's two shopping centers with a huge glass walkway over the highway, which is just insane. There's shops on the walkway between the two shopping centers. Then Sadavot's kind of at the junction there. Yeah, I've been there a few times. My wife doesn't like it. And she won't go there with me if I ask her to come along for the day because it's just, firstly, it's too far to go. And she's got, it's not interesting that she can buy things where we live, as she would say. CZ in Chiswick is more like the word G in Georgia rather than Z. Am I pronouncing it wrong? Let me read that again. The Chiswick is more like the sound G, or Jizik. Oh, Cheezik. I think I'm still getting it wrong. Sorry. I think I'll definitely pronounce it wrong in the video. So, yeah, I really wanted to go to Chiswick because it's very, very like classic Russian, Soviet, cheap, low-cost supermarket. It's not very big, but you'll see it in the video. That it's very, very, very classic Russian style. Am I a spy? I don't think so. I guess I'm showing people Russia. Oh, hello. Здравствуйте. Oh, I'm live on YouTube. You can say hello to people watching on YouTube. Oh, my wife just came home and her friend as well. So. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. We have. Oh. All right, but I'm gonna. What time are we at? Oh, we're gonna end fairly soon. So maybe my wife and her friend just came over or home. From St. Petersburg. Здравствуйте. Like rubber figures of dinosaurs. I have a whole collection of them. No, I haven't. Russian Pitorishka Zors. No, at the moment they've got glasses that you can collect. Or you pay like 1 ruble after you collect so many like points. But I don't know about the Pitorishka dinosaurs. Now I'm going to look on. Maybe they sell them on Avito. Yeah, never thought Russia was as modern as I expected. Christine, Zhenya, Cuckoo, you want to just come and wave on the camera for a second? No. Huh? Come on, take 1 second. Oh, now you're. It's like close up, so I think you won't be in the video.
Hello.
You can put your head more in there if you want. Sam says hello. Christine says hello. So there we go. We have a few hellos. Waving back. Thanks everybody for saying hello. Yeah, my wife, her friend came. So my wife's friend is a hairdresser who works at a salon in another area of Moscow. So she's come to do nails with my wife, and then my wife gets her hair done in reverse. So, Здравствуйте. Hello, everyone. Yeah, so she's just here. I got her on one video. I want to do another one. Maybe tomorrow for the members live stream. She might be there. I don't know what time she's working tomorrow. So now you have to learn the sound. Zhenya, yes. Yeah, we say in English Jen or Yevgenia. So Zhenya. Go enjoy your company. Yeah, I'm going to end the live stream anyway in 7 minutes. So pretty much 2 hours is my normal live stream time. So I hope you guys, your wife and her friend, lucky you. Yes. Well, there you go. You can wave again. Which side are you going to do on?
Hi.
There you go. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Yeah, 67. Oh, no. What's the likes? Oh, now I can't see. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I was just going to put up the live count. 19,890. So 110 people from 20,000. How do you say Chizik, that supermarket? Chizek. Chizek, like Zhenya. Mr. Russian, thank you. Yes. You pronounce Zhenya correctly. It's the same as Chizek. Oh, ZH. There you go. Oh, she looks in a better mood than she did in your 10K live stream.
What?
When you did the live stream here, sitting on the sofa, you weren't in a good mood.
I don't like this live stream.
Yeah, she's not a big fan of YouTube. That's the thing. So, do you live in Moscow downtown or in the suburbs? We're in Moscow Oblast. We're quite pretty much narrow for Minsk. If you know the region at all, Kiev, Kishusei, past Vnukovo Airport, and just about there. So, if that makes sense where we live. I'm going to end that. I'm going to just... Oh, come on. Scroll back to... I just need to see. Oh, we're on 103 likes. as we almost get to the end of the live stream. So, yeah, she looked like she wanted to body slam you during the stream. Yeah, when we also filmed at the studio that she bought, Sam, it was the same way. I told her we were going to make the video. And then the funny thing was, is I forgot to do the ending because after we left, we kind of pretty much got a taxi and came home because it's just awkward from there to get back to our place. So I got all the way home. Then I realized we didn't do the ending of the video. And then I had to go so we could film it together. I went to get the tripod, which I never really ever use my phone on the tripod, which I should. So I brought that downstairs. We sat outside our own apartment at the end of the, we bought an apartment video. I don't know the title again, but if you watch the ending of that, she looks like she's upset as well. So sorry, now my cheeks are laughing because it just reminds me of when we made the couple of videos together. Svetlana from Russia, she made a video on what she called Russian moonshine. Yeah, I watched a couple of her videos where she goes out to somebody's dacha or someone's country house. Yeah, I don't like, well, you don't have to like everybody in the world, right? But I just don't really connect with her watching her videos. Maybe it's the whole blonde Russian girl thing, which attracts a lot of audience. A friend and I have talked about this, that we should outsource YouTube channels and find that classic Russian girl that wants to film videos in Moscow and get them to make videos, and we'll put them on channels for them. Yeah, I just don't connect with watching her videos. I'm sorry, that's just me, but I guess we can all have an opinion about it. I could tell by her face. Had me laughing. Yeah, Sam, very true. Moscow Oblast, some way from the center. Yeah, is it about 40 kilometers? I think I say 50 kilometers when I make the videos. It's about 40 kilometers down the highway. Literally, if we went there now, 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday, probably a little bit less traffic, but we could drive in a car from here and be at the Kremlin, which I consider the center of Moscow, in about 45, 50 minutes, probably an hour, realistically. If I went by the bus and then the metro, it's about an hour 15 to get there. Hour 20. Hour 15 to get there in one bus. I'd have to walk to the bus stop. That takes most of the time. Then wait for the bus. And from the bus to the metro, they walk out onto Alexander Garden or Hotny Riyad is the metro station nearest there. It's very easy. So they just put with that person who cooks for you. Absolutely. Oh, now more comments here. Now I'm getting too fast here. Oh, I think. It would be great to see. It's great if you filmed in the Moscow City Business District. Yeah, with the skyscrapers. Yes. I need to go back there. I actually, when I was with a friend a few days ago, I asked him after we left Vdenha, I said, where would you like to go? He said, oh, we'll go to Red Square. I said, we can go to Moscow City and walk around the skyscrapers there. And there's the kind of embankment where you can walk along. And then there's Bagatron Bridge, which is an old bridge that they've got shops inside as well that you can cross over the bridge towards Moscow City. Yeah, it has the highest skyscraper in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Alex. Again, I've got that on my I Like Cruise Ships channel in the Russian playlist. I wish all of those videos I could put on this channel because it would just make so much sense for my story before this channel started. Because I was trying to do vlogging type videos then, but they just weren't successful because they're on a cruise ship channel. So, yeah, let's wind it up. We've got a few minutes, so as long as the chat keeps going, we'll obviously stay. My late breakfast is here. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to have some food afterwards. I'm going to have some of that plof right there that's waiting for me. And maybe one of these colas, but I'm not very feeling like cola. But so that's probably why your wife doesn't find fond of your streaming. Just tell her that she's married to a star. Yes, Mr. Russian. Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah, when we did the video with her, I basically put the camera further back so it doesn't show the rest of the kitchen. Yeah, and I set up the different camera too, so it's a bit easier. So yeah, 400. Yeah, you can go by the Sapsan or the overnight train between Moscow and St. Petersburg. It's funny that Appalachian moonshine is even known in Russia. Yeah, moonshine. Yeah, you can buy. Well, people make homemade alcohol here, and you can buy overproof alcohol in the shops as well. Appalachian cozy apartment, I would say. Yes, yeah. This place where we are here is very nice. We lived in this building previously. And then if you watch the Pitorishka video, we lived in that building for about 2 years. And we moved back to this building because we like this building for the view. I like that building because of the shops downstairs, because they had the 2 different supermarkets that I made 2 separate videos about. It's amazing how it took me so many years to make the video of the shop down the road from where I live. Say hello to your wife and her friend. Yes, Alex, I will. Yeah, I'll let them know that you guys... Well, my wife knows I was doing the streaming, so... I've been confronted a couple of times. I guess the word confronting, just basically by... Not necessarily by the people that work in the stores, mostly by the general public who question that I'm filming things. But generally, most people are kind of interested about why I'm doing it, and, film away, film what you like. I mean, most of the audience that'll watch the video is nowhere close to the person who I'm even filming. The next video I'll put up, which hopefully will be by tomorrow, will kind of follow on from going to the warehouse supermarket, because it's the same area where I filmed. And you'll see the amount of crowds in that supermarket. It's amazing how that warehouse store was so empty, but they just don't advertise. They've got very poor signage. The lady even admitted it there. They've got too small a sign outside. And it's just, it's just part of the branding of the store. They don't advertise, they don't brand, they don't put stuff on social media. Probably me making that video has got more awareness of it than they've had in the last couple of months since it was open. So yeah. All right, everybody, we're right at the 2-hour mark, which is kind of the end of the live stream. I really hope you've enjoyed watching. I will mention that I think maybe we might have someone who's a channel member watching. I will do a live stream tomorrow for channel members. I've been promising to do it for a few months, so I'm going to probably just chat to myself. I might have to come up with a few questions and answers. I really hope my wife will sit in on it with me tomorrow, just for the sake of it. Maybe she won't, but he's a happy man. Bear Bull is here. Yeah, tomorrow, Bear Bull, we're going to do the members stream, or I'm going to try to do it probably about the same time tomorrow. Bear Bull, does this sound, if I do it exactly this time, it's 7 p.m. now, would this be a better time? Or would you say doing it a few hours earlier? Ironwood, yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, I just noticed now you also is one of the moderators of the channel. We didn't have anybody really today going untoward. I'm not very controversial in the topic today, so I guess I need to have a reason to make the topics more topical. Is that right? Sorry. I'm from India. I love watching your videos. Yes, I watched the cricket today, by the way. And crazy thing is, right, India played Pakistan, 90,000 people at the MCG. Today, New Zealand played Sri Lanka, and there was only maybe 5,000 people, 10,000 watching. Crazy difference. Yeah, I was watching the cricket today. Yesterday was rained out, but yeah, people from everywhere. So what did we end up with on the... I ended the poll, didn't I? 60-40 from 95 votes are inside or outside Russia. There we go. Yeah, more Russian people need to show more of their country. Oh, wait. Oh, lots of people chiming in now that I haven't seen names before. From Oregon. Nice. I've been to Astoria, Oregon on the cruise ships many years ago. We were doing the cruise from San Francisco up to Seattle. Where did we went to Seattle? Yeah, from Seattle. And we stopped in Astoria, Oregon. And then on the East Coast, I've been to Portland. Is that Portland, Oregon on the East Coast? There's two Oregons. Am I wrong? Is that Portland, Maine? I don't know. I'm mixed up now which one I went to. Love your videos. Thank you. Yes. Thanks, everybody. Thanks again for the 115 likes. Thanks for anybody that did super chats or super stickers through the live stream. That's very nice of you. Anybody that did that. It does help the videos and the analytics of the video, especially the thumbs ups do and the likes. If anyone wants to comment on this video after it ends, you're welcome to put a comment. I will do my best to reply to comments, especially in the first hour or two of the video. You're welcome to do that. I don't know if anybody ever shares videos. I know we've gained a lot of subscribers from actually Appalachian Petra. Appalachian, I forgot the name of the channel now. Appalachian something Pietra. So yeah, I know she did a video talking about the difference between the shop where she lives and my shop. So that's kind of neat that someone did that and maybe shared the video. So if anyone wants to put something on another social media or Facebooks or what's that other one called? What's the one where people vote up and down? The Reddit. You can put things on Reddit. Patra. Yes. Wait. Yes. Yeah. Appalachian Homestead Petra. I think it is. Well, Homestead with Petra. Maybe when Russell rides the trains, we will see more. Yes. I am would. Yeah, a lot of the Russian channels left Russia. Yeah, it's interesting now, all these channels with a Russian name in it, like Zach the Russian, Dimmer from Russia, Inside Russia. Actually, Natasha's Russian Adventures now Natasha's Adventures. Yeah, so it's interesting that all the names, and they're like, welcome to Inside Russia, but I'm outside Russia. And then Dimmer did that, Dimmer from Russia, but I'm not in Russia on his videos. MCL, thank you. You're welcome. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Appalachian Homestead. That's it. Appalachian Homestead, Petra. Is there a richer channel like Walmart in Russia? I would say probably the closest thing to Walmart is Ashan, which I've done the video of recently. Russia's largest. If you look up the last 5 or 6 videos on the channel, I've changed the title of it about 4 times to see what I did wrong in the titling, but I put Russia's largest supermarket. So if you watch that video, that would be the closest to Walmart. 100%. But it's like 2 Walmarts. It's like a Walmart with a Walmart upstairs. So imagine a Walmart with a travelator at either end to go shopping between the 2 Walmarts. That makes complete sense. I think it does. Thanks for the stream, Alex. Yes, Ironwood, Wild, Wait, MCL, everybody else who I can just see here from the comments. A big, massive thank you again. Tomorrow will be pretty much, if anyone is a channel member, there will be a live stream either way, if they're watching or not at live. It'll be about this time tomorrow. Roughly. Yes, give or take an hour. I'll just see if I'm going to go out anywhere tomorrow. I don't think I will. I'll stay local to where I live. I want to go to a place called Fixed Price, which is kind of like the dollar store of Russia. Kind of like that. And there's 2 of them in my town, so I can go to one that's actually one of them I can almost see out the window because it's a new building, and you can just see the light of it flashing. So, yeah, I'm out of here, everybody. Again, thanks very much for, if anyone does super thanks on videos, I don't know if anyone's aware, you can watch a video And there's a way that you can put, I guess it's a donation. I don't know what they word it as, but super thanks. And I tend to pin them in the comments as well as the top comment. I don't tend to do my own comment on a video, which most YouTubers do. So, and yeah, and in the description of the videos too, there is a link to Amazon. If anyone is a shopper on Amazon outside of Russia, I guess, click the link and then go through to Amazon that way. And there's a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage that gets paid to me through any links that you might buy something. No effect on you buying it, but it's there. I see the world from what it is truly, not only, yeah. Okay. Sorry. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for traveling with Russell. Tomorrow, a new video, live stream, probably midweek. We might do one before the end of the month. How's that? I think that's Tuesday. No, Monday is we might do one on Monday night, right before the end of the calendar month. Let's see. Depending on what I'm doing. All right, everybody. Thanks, John. Yes, I think you said you were from Fremantle. Is that right? Crazy. People are from where I'm from. We were living in Rockingham Foreshore, by the way, when my wife and I were in Australia. My parents live in Baldivis. We went to school at John Curtin, but then at the time when I was in John Curtin, we were living in Munster. So if you know Hamilton Hill, Spearwood, Munster. Dash. Oh, lots of people saying goodbye. Yeah, you can say goodbye in the comments. John, thank you. Ironwood, Alex, Dash, Zeppeli. Thank you. Some people I haven't seen in the chat. That's very nice. I don't like the ending part because I feel like I'm leaving everybody just who are watching stranded. So yeah, spasiba, bajolsta. Harashov, Spokinoki. That's my other Russian that I know. Russell in Russia, the store's analog 7-Eleven, please. They don't really have I guess Pitorich, because sorry, I'm just going to answer this. There isn't really like a true 7-Eleven. Everywhere in Russia is open 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The store's analog 7-Eleven. There is Spar, which is really not a Russian brand. But the thing is here, you tend to have more supermarket style shops versus really convenience style shops. You know, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'll definitely try. I'm trying to go to as many different places that I've not been to before because I just think it's interesting just to continue on the path or the niche that the channel's going. So we'll tune in no matter what, anytime. Thank you. Wait, what? Sorry. I want to say wait. Okay. Catch you later, everybody. I'll see you in another stream. Watch another video. Thanks for liking it. Thanks for watching, subscribing. If you want to comment afterwards, you're more than welcome to. Bye, everybody.